G'day Gooners and welcome back to another episode. Actually, a bit of a bonus episode today, and I'm joined by a very special guest. We've got Benny here. You may have
Yes,
seen his
sir.
face on social media, but how are you going?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. It's nice to be chatting to an Aussie again. I moved back about 3 weeks ago. So yeah, how are you doing, man?
I mean, good. I mean, we were talking off camera a bit before, but like, you can't really complain, man. Like that West Ham result, bit of controversy at the end, but it always feels that little bit sweeter. Were you able to get
That's
to the
it.
game or nah?
Not to the West Ham game. No, it's so hard to get away tickets. I had a few mates that managed to get tickets in the away end. No, in the home end,
Yeah.
sorry. Obviously with the West Ham fans, and I don't know whether you've seen the videos circulating, but there was like fights going on.
I
Like it was
did see that
crazy.
one. I
Uh,
saw the one of the
but
guy falling down the stairs, I think.
yeah, yeah. But no, my pals got out alive, so we're all good.
That's all good. That's all good. But yeah, today in this episode, we're just going to be previewing the Burnley game, giving our lineups, score predictions, and then I'm also going to ask Benny a few questions about his experience in Australia because, as we know, it's a very unique sort of experience waking up at ridiculous hours of the night and early in the morning. So we'll get his thoughts on that, and we're also going to do a little quiz at the end of name the Arsenal player. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, our next game is Burnley. I believe it is a 5 a.m. kickoff here in Australia. I think that would mean this is my maths on the spot at the moment. I think that's an 8 p.m. kickoff for you guys, I believe.
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea, but yeah,
Yeah.
sometime like that.
Yeah, which I think is Monday night for you guys, Tuesday morning here. And yeah, it's obviously a massive game. I believe if results go our way, hopefully Crystal Palace can get a result, we could lift the Premier League on that day, I believe, or we will be crowned champions. So, I mean,
That's
it
it,
could be
mate.
the one, man. How are you feeling going into that game?
Um, Full of confidence. I think the momentum we had after going through to the Champions League final and obviously beating who was it? Who did we beat 3-0? Fulham. I thought the momentum was crazy. I think there's no excuse to drop points now. Um, and I was very confident in obviously the last game, and I'm surprised that we just about got away with a win at West Ham, to be honest. Because yeah, I thought we should. I know they were putting up a fight, but I think we should have done a bit better. The lineup was
Yeah.
questionable, the changes were questionable, but yeah, momentum going forward. I'm looking for a big win against Burnley.
I think that win is really going to put a lot of momentum in, especially bouncing off the back of making it to the Champions League final as well. So I'm sure there'll be no question if the boys are up for it. And I think if that West Ham goal was to have stood, or if we did get a draw there, I think it might have been a different conversation. But so I'm glad
Yeah,
we did get out of there with a win. I think there is positives to take from that win as well, especially like the first 25 minutes. I thought we played really well, and then obviously I think the mistake that you're probably referring to is when Declan Rice got shifted out to right back. Zubimendi
yes,
came
mate.
on. It's just a whole mess, to be honest. And I'm sure we'll do our lineups and say what we think the lineup should be as well. But I am expecting a bit of an easier game. Obviously, Burnley's already relegated. They did have a nice result against Aston Villa. I thought, I don't know if you saw the clip of that, but did you see Aston Villa's potential penalty at the end? It was 2-2. I think Walker sort of stepped on the back of Wender's heels. I thought it was a clear penalty, but they didn't give it. Not sure if you caught that or not.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even see it, mate. But yeah, I mean, all of my focus was on that West
Yeah.
Ham, obviously Raya call. So yeah,
Yeah.
but other than that, mate, now just fully focused on Arsenal right now. Don't
Yeah.
really care what other teams are doing at the moment because I know that we're gonna batter them either way.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, look at Burnley. That was actually their only point in the last 5 games. So I think that's probably why it made headlines. They got their new manager, Michael Jackson, which is a funny, surprising name. But yeah, it should
Questionable
be,
name.
yeah, it should be a very interesting game. I guess we'll get into our lineups. What would your lineup be for that game?
I think we go. I think we stick with this attacking lineup that we're currently working with. I don't know whether you see yesterday breaking news: Ben White's out till the end of the
Yeah.
season, probably his last game in an Arsenal shirt. So I would have to go for David Raya in goal. I'd go Christian Mosquera at right back, Saliba, Gabriel. I'd stick with Calafiori at left back just to give us that attacking
Yeah.
sort of presence going forward. And then I would go for Declan Rice, Miles Lewis-Skelly. I think we don't play as well attacking football and we don't progress the ball well with Zubimendi. So I'll bring Miles Lewis-Skelly in. And then we're going, I want to say Eze, but I wouldn't mind if Ødegaard started
Yeah.
because he stepped up last game. But we'll go with Eze. And
Yeah.
then Bukayo Saka, Gyökeres, and I'll go Martinelli to start.
Okay. Is there any reason as to the Martinelli one over Trossard since Trossard, he's been playing pretty good the last few weeks, scored the winner as well. Would you want to keep that momentum?
I just think we looked good on the weekend. Don't get me wrong. I just think, yeah, the momentum's there. I mean, it's a bit of a 50-50. Like, I've always been against Martinelli like this whole season, but I feel like Trossard's in form. He steps up in big games, and he showed that regardless of how much game time he's getting. I just want to get Martinelli into a bit of form going into the
Yep.
Champions League final.
Yep.
Just because the game is going to be much more open and it suits our style of play, and especially Martinelli's because he can get in behind.
Yeah. Fair enough. I completely see that. And probably for me, I would play Ødegaard, but I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not too fussed if Eze does play. They're both quality players. But I think for me, Ødegaard, he's had a bit of a on and off season. He's been injured, I think six separate times, which is just I
A
don't
lot,
even know
mate. Yeah.
what's going on there. But he seems to have found a sort of rhythm, especially in that West Ham game. I'd love to see him continue that. I thought some of the balls he was playing, man, like that ball through to Madueke, the little diagonal ball through to
With
Havertz,
me.
yeah, the pass, the 1-2 with Rice as well that set up the goal. Like his whole performance is really refreshing to see. I think recently, I mean, a couple months ago, we are talking about him maybe exiting the club, and I mean, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but me and George are quite big Ødegaard fans on this podcast. We always back him,
Yeah.
and I feel like he is a bit of a scapegoat in the media. But what are your thoughts on that? Should he leave this summer? Should he come on as a sub in the Burnley game? What's your opinion on that?
Just a quick curveball for you. I've been calling for, especially against teams like Burnley. Obviously, we've recently changed to more of attacking midfield with Miles
Yeah,
Lewis-Skelly and Eze and that. Imagine Rice as a six, and then you've got Eze and Ødegaard in front of him. I
yeah,
think that would work so well. So I wouldn't mind seeing that against Burnley. But I think it depends. I think the next few weeks are going to be very telling. I think if he comes in and steps up, I think there might be a place for him in this squad. I do feel like the system doesn't really suit him, in my opinion. So I don't know whether there is a pathway for him in the future. I don't know whether his time's sort of up. We're kind of seeing it now. We saw it with Zinchenko. We saw it with. We're going to see it with
mm,
Gabriel Jesus. These kind of players that have been there from the start of this sort of evolution of Mikel Arteta and the club. It'll be interesting to see if he does sort of call it a day. Whether we cash in on him, I don't know. But I'm a bit more positive after that performance last week.
yeah. I think that'll give him a lot of confidence. I think the only thing that's in the back of my mind is we've got so much youth coming through that position as well. Obviously, Max Dowman's been a revelation this season. We've still got Wanyeri out on loan. He's not really getting the minutes out there, so I'm sure he's going to come back. Whether we send him back out on loan, cash in on him, who knows? But I think that could maybe decide Odegaard's future. For me, I'm a little bit biased because Odegaard is one of my favorite Arsenal players. So, I mean, for me, I would love to keep him, but I do see a world where he might call it time on his Arsenal career. And I think honestly, man, I think wherever he goes, especially in a European league, maybe Spain or something like that, like he will ball out somewhere. I know it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's given us so many good years. This year hasn't obviously been the best, but I hope that he can finish strong. That's the main thing. But yeah, moving away from that, obviously you said Eze and Odegaard potentially playing together. I've been a big
Yeah.
caller of that as well. I'd love to see that because I think they bring out the best in each other. Eze's more of like a, moments player, techie sort of player where Odegaard's a bit more controlled, leads the press, leadership qualities, can thread the needle when he needs to. So I think they complement each other well. Um, but yeah, in saying that, I would love to see that. If that was to be the lineup, which I hope it is, what do you see the score prediction being and how do you think we'll play?
I think it'll be everything channeled through the midfield, much better than what we've probably already seen this season. I think we've had an issue with receivers collect the ball in the midfield and then they just spread it wide. They don't go direct. So I think the balance of having Rice as sort of defensive cover that's just going to be side to side the whole game. I think Ødegaard sort of being in that hybrid role where he does drop back, but he also offers a lot going forward. And you think of the link up on that right hand side with Saka and Ødegaard, like we don't have a
Yeah.
pairing like that. And then obviously you've got Eze, who's going to be doing magical things, hopefully outside the box and create things. So I think a lot of it will come through our midfield. I think there'd be slightly less wing play, but who knows? And yeah, no, I think it would definitely work. And I'd like to see. I honestly think if on our day we could do Burnley 5-6-0. But we're not known for scoring outfield goals to that extent, so I'll probably stick with like a 3-0.
Yeah, I could definitely see a 3-0.
Nah, I'll go 4-0. I'll go
4-0. All right. Yeah, I'll
Staying
probably go.
optimistic.
Yeah, same here. Optimistic as well. Probably in and around that sort of area, probably 4-0. But I think it's probably going to be one of those games where, if we get one in the first 5 minutes, it could be five. But if we go sort of the first 40, Burnley compact, bit stubborn, and we get nick one maybe before halftime, then I could probably see a 3-0 there. I think it just depends on how we start. I also want to ask you a question about your thoughts on Lewis-Skelly's sort of revolution coming into this midfield position. Obviously, we know through the academy that is his natural position, but I feel like it's been kind of frustrating always seeing him on the bench because it's, Hale and boy, he's not getting enough minutes. I honestly thought his time might be up at Arsenal, which is so sad to see. But then he's kind of been given a new life at Arsenal with this new position. And I'm loving it, to be honest. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that is a long-term plan?
He's been revived, bro.
Yeah.
Voldemort's been been brought back. No, I'm buzzing, to be fair. Like, I love the kid. I think he's class. He's such a good player, and obviously coming through the Hale End Academy, you want him to do well naturally because he feels sort of part of the Arsenal DNA. I think I was surprised. I was very surprised when we sent Waneri out on loan that Miles Lewis-Skelly didn't go with him, just because we do have Calafiori and Hincapié at left back, and we've always had so many players in that position. But yeah, on one side, I think we have kind of wasted a bit of time in terms of offering him game time. Like, I think we could have sent him on loan, but at the same time, who's to say that he isn't part of this future starting 11? Like, you look how we played with him as opposed to how we've played with Zubimendi. I think he offers us a lot more in a different game state than Zubimendi does. So yeah, I'd love to see him just excel from here, really.
Yeah, just on Zubimendi as well. Obviously, he got hooked in the West Ham game. It is frustrating to see a player of that quality. We know how good he started the season. It just doesn't seem like it's clicking for him. I don't know what it is, man, but for me, it just seems like he's lost a bit of confidence. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but it's just the whole dynamic isn't working, man.
I don't think the dynamic works in particular games. In my opinion, when we have a Rice and a Zubimendi in midfield and only one attacking player, I think it's just too defensive. I don't think it gives us enough going forward. There's not enough there's no directness in terms of going forward. I think Zubimendi, you think how many games he's played this season. It's a big step up from obviously the games he was playing before in La Liga. I think that he's probably a bit tired, a bit worn out. And at the same time, he's stepping up to a much more physical league, which naturally is going to take its toll with time, sort of thing. So yeah, I think it's a mixture of that. Again, it could be confidence, but we've seen what this man can do on his day. I think he just suits certain game states better than others, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It does sort of seem like he is tired. Like, mate, he needs a break. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure he has. Yeah, I think he has played the most minutes in our squad besides Raya, so the most in the outfield position. So definitely impressive, but needs a break for sure. Anyways, though, I think we're confident about that game. I want to ask you a few questions about, obviously, if you guys aren't aware, Benny was living in Australia, but not anymore. He's moved back to the UK.
Yes, sir.
First of all, what was your reason for going to Australia, and how did you find the whole football scene here, just in general?
I'll cut a very long story short. I was basically traveling in Southeast Asia. I was there just under a year, and then I basically had the opportunity to go to Australia. So I basically just sent it, and then from there, was there about just over a year, and then the football culture. It's not the same, man. It's not the same.
It's not.
The way I describe it is football is like a religion in the UK. Like, everyone's locked in, and like, you say one bad thing about certain clubs, like, you got to be careful. But in Australia, everything's a lot more rugby based. Basically, like based on where I was in Brisbane, so everything
Yep.
seemed a lot more rugby based, and they call it football. So whenever you open your mouth about football, they assume you're talking about that.
Yeah.
But no, I did meet. I went and watched a few games with the Brisbane like Arsenal supporters club.
Cool.
Everyone that I met was lovely. They were a lot more tame than the average English Arsenal fan, but they would still be up at silly o'clock in the morning watching games. So I actually think there's a bit of an agenda against like foreign Arsenal fans, like Aussies, like all this stuff. Just like a stereotype of people saying, they're not from North London, they're not from like England, like they're not real supporters, they've never been to a game. But I've obviously witnessed getting up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. watching games, and it's a hard graft, man. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people in the UK wouldn't do that, I imagine. So yeah, no, hats off to all the Aussies out there. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good to hear. Obviously I'm always going to be biased because, you know, growing up like Arsenal, I've always watched the games, and then as of like the last, I don't even know, mate, it's been a while. I've watched pretty much 99% of games, no matter the time, no matter the day. So I think that dedication is just like sometimes it doesn't even feel real. Like get up at 3 a.m. It's like, yeah, got up at 3 a.m. And when you tell people about it, they're like, what do you mean? Like it's a pretty
Yeah, yeah,
crazy thing. So yeah, obviously I agree. I see what you mean by probably we're more tame, but I think that's because, you know, we have to be a bit more quiet up at 4 a.m. But
absolutely. Yeah,
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 and you know, we're never gonna get that proper experience of being in the stadium. I mean, I'd hope to go one day. I haven't been to the Emirates, but the only Arsenal game I've been to in the UK was I actually went to West Ham away, funnily enough, when they were at their old stadium,
yeah.
like 2014. I think we won 2-1 on the day. Giroud Cazorla goal, maybe. We can fact check that. But it was an amazing experience. I was just so young at the time as well, so I didn't really get to relish it properly. But I would absolutely love to go again. I'm sure I'll give it my all when I'm in the stadium as well. So that is definitely a
No.
dream of mine.
Oh,
But yeah,
I think when I was there, I got the kind of I was told that I was in the wrong place for football. So maybe if I'd gone somewhere else, it would have been a better
yeah,
experience. But yeah, just for me at the time, it just didn't really seem like there were many sort of football fans out there. But obviously, there's going to be plenty elsewhere. So yeah,
yeah, for sure. And shout out to all of our Gunners fans everywhere, no matter where you are. I
that's
just
it.
do want to follow up on the sort of ridiculous kickoff times. What, in your opinion, is the number one worst kickoff time in Australia?
I reckon 2 a.m.
Okay, okay,
I think 2 a.m. because it's almost like that time where you're kind of like, oh, do I just stay up for it? Not sure. And then by the time it's done, it's kind of like you haven't really got enough time, especially after a stressful game, bro. I could not get
yeah.
back to sleep. Like, do you know what I mean? I think the best times is probably 5 or 6 a.m. for sure, because you just get up and then carry on with your day. But yeah, maybe like between 2 and 3 a.m. is the worst.
Yeah,
It's not ideal.
yeah, I agree with that. It's always definitely rough. I have been, I have to admit, I have fallen asleep like little micro sleeps in the games before. Always try and push through, but sometimes it's just so hard, man. Like even for me, I've been watching games for ages and it still happens, you know. So
Yeah.
it is tough. It is tough for sure. But yeah, also when we get the 9:30 p.m. kickoffs, mate, like they are class. Yeah, you mentioned you went to sort of like an Arsenal Brisbane club. What was, I know you kind of mentioned it before, but what was that experience like? Did you have any good chats with people there? Were there any good stories that you had from that?
Not in particular. It was literally they were showing the game in a bar, and I essentially just went to a bar. I actually met up with another English lad that had
Nice.
just moved there. So yeah, we just headed to this bar, watched the game. Sort of had a whole table full of like Arsenal fans, and it was good. It wasn't too bad. It was shared with, I think it was against Nottingham Forest. It was shared with Forest fans, but surprisingly, there was a lot of English people in there, um,
Yeah.
which was yeah, interesting because I live like just outside of Brisbane by like 40 minutes, so it was a little bit more rural.
Yeah.
So there wasn't too many English people other than in the city, sort of thing. So, but yeah, It wasn't like a crazy event. Like it was just like going to
Just
the
sort of
pub and
chill,
watching
yeah.
football with your mates, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And obviously it was silly o'clock in the morning, but yeah, no, it was nice and chill, but no crazy stories.
Yeah, fair enough. That's good to hear. It's probably not going to be too crazy when it's in the middle of the night, so fair enough on that. Yeah, I guess we'll move on to, we're going to be doing a quiz. I'm going to give, probably seen it on TikTok before. I'm going to give you 10 Arsenal players, starting with very easy, and it's going to get more and more niche as we go. So we're going to test your ball knowledge right now. I will send you the photos. So the first one's going to be easy. Hopefully you can get it. I'll pop it up on the screen as well so you guys can play along. So you just have to name the player.
Yep.
There you go. Just sent you the first one. Very
I
difficult.
have it.
Good start. Good start. It's not going to be that easy, though. All right. Number 2.
Matt Turner.
Correct. That is correct. That is Matt Turner.
I don't know why that took me so long as well. I'm like,
he's got a pretty common face, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying whoever the player is in my head, and then I'm like, wait, just like triple think about this. So yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Number 3. Probably a
Kieran
bit easier.
Gibbs.
Oxlade-Chamberlain, isn't it?
Kieran Gibbs, bro.
No, the handball incident. Do you remember that? You remember when the ref got mixed up?
Oh, no. I don't remember.
You don't know that?
No, I never knew that.
Oxlade-Chamberlain handballed a goal on the line, and this is before VAR, and the ref sent off Gibbs instead of Oxlade-Chamberlain, which is crazy. Yeah, Gibbs, super underrated player as well, I have to say.
Mate.
Righto. Number 4. These are all from the last 10 years, by the way. I don't want to go too far back.
Francis Coquelin. What a baller, mate.
Baller, mate. Righto. Let's go. They're gonna start to get more niche, so get ready. Righto. Number 6.
God. Lucas Pereira.
Ooh, close. The last name's very close. Starts with P-E-R.
Perez.
Perez, that's right. Lucas Perez.
I'm a donut, mate.
That's all right. Close enough. Righto.
Who is Pereira?
that does sound like a football player though, Lucas Pereira. But yeah, Lucas Perez. Shout out to him. I think he also played for West Ham as well, actually. So interesting. Righto. I've lost count now. Number 7. Here we go.
Chuba Akpom.
That's right. Okay.
My guy.
Good stuff.
Oh, what is this guy's name? Something Macy. Matt Macy?
Yep, that's right. That's Matt Macy.
Ball knowledge.
Ball knowledge. Come on. Righto. Number 9.
I can't remember his name, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Should I give you a hint?
Yeah.
What hint would you like? The name hint or sort of club that he plays for now, maybe?
Nah, first name. Can I get a first name?
Jeff.
Oh, bro.
I'll give you a hint, actually. His last name is that might be too easy. It's a place in Australia. Part of his last name is a place in Australia. City.
Australia's big, brother.
We don't have many cities, mate.
Mate, I have no idea.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah, go on.
Jeff Rene Adelaide.
I'm an idiot. I'm actually an idiot.
Nah, that is a niche one. He did not play many games, to be fair.
No. I know Rene Adelaide, bro. It's hard being put on the flipping spot.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Fair enough. It is
I'm
tough.
so bad under pressure as well.
It's all good. I mean, that's the first one you've gotten wrong out of what? How many? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh no, I do have 10. That's my bad. So
literally, you genuinely forgot about this guy. I can't
7 out of 8. 7 out of 8. Righto, number 9. Which player is that? He did play one senior game for Arsenal, Carabao Cup, a couple years ago.
I literally follow him as well on Instagram. What is his name? Charles Sago Jr.
That's ball knowledge. That's correct. Charles Sago Jr. Righto, on to the last one. Mate, this one is tough because technically he never actually played a game for Arsenal. He was
Oh
bought
no.
by us, got sent out on loan for 3 years, and got shipped straight back. So it's gonna be tough. If you don't know it, fair enough. It's hard to even find a photo of him in the kit, mate.
Oh mate, yeah. I've no idea who that is, bro.
I forgot his name as well. Hang on, I'm gonna get that up, but that
I have
is
no idea who this brother is.
Takuma Asano. He got like sent
Can-
out on
can-
loan. Yeah, I wanted to get a tough one at the end there, but it was
I
sort of.
recognise his name, but can we please get a VAR check? Because did this man even sign for Arsenal? That looks like
He
AI,
did.
bro.
It was at Arsenal 2016, 2019, was on loan every season at Stuttgart. Never actually played a game for us, so maybe you could argue, does it count? But I mean, he's on the books, I guess. That was one of those sort of random Arsene Wenger era signings right at the end of his tenure. Bit of a random one,
I
but
had a bit of a grey area just for context where I wasn't as locked in for like an entire year of football just because I was like at college working. I had just like stopped playing football myself and I like gave myself a bit of a break. So that's probably why I don't know who that geezer.
yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Righto, that is ball knowledge. If you guys can beat that score, leave your comments. No cheating as well. We'll know if you're cheating. Like, if you know the last player, then you're cheating. You're not a nerd like me. You know what I mean? So I think that's probably all we got time for today. A bit of a bonus pod today. Thank you so much, Benny, for joining the pod today. Really appreciate it. Yeah, check him out, guys. All his social medias will be in the description. Like, follow, all that good stuff. It makes very good content. So shout out to you, Ben. And yeah, that's enough from me. Have a good day, Gooners.
Legend. Thank you for having me, mate.
No
Have a
worries.
great day.